Welcome to 5 interesting facts about German politician and leader of the Nazi Party, Adolf Hitler. Let's first start with his mustache. Hitler loved his mustache, and although worn by many famous stars such as Charlie Chaplin and Oliver from Laurel and Hardy, Hitler gave the toothbrush its popularity, and as a result made it the most powerful configuration of facial hair the world has ever seen. One theory as to what influenced his mustache is that according to a soldier who knew Hitler during the First World War, his large mustache would not fit under the gas mask, so he was ordered to trim it, and the toothbrush stuck until his death in 1945. Hitler never actually visited a concentration camp. Despite the millions of Jews being killed at death camps, Hitler never actually set foot on one. Heinrich Himmler, a high-ranking Nazi who developed the logistics of the extermination camps, did the visiting for Hitler, and it is said that Hitler never signed any paperwork linked to the exterminations. Some say he didn't want any proof that he was directly attributed to the camps. Adolf Hitler was an upcoming artist. He actually applied to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna, only to be turned down not once but twice, apparently by a Jewish professor. Some say this is what tipped him over the edge, leading to his hatred for the Jews. Take a look at some of his artwork. I really find it quite eerie knowing that he drew these. Hitler had an incredibly sweet tooth, mainly for chocolate. It is widely known that Hitler favoured a vegetarian diet and rarely touched alcohol or cigarettes, but when it came to chocolate and sweets he certainly didn't eat in moderation. When Hitler was a child, he had very little money, but would spend any spare coin he had on sugary treats such as poppy seed cake and nut cake, or he would cook up an enormous plate of rice with milk and cover it in grated chocolate and sugar. His sweet tooth persisted into his later years, and staff were asked to leave a special cake for him before he went to bed. A Führer cake, an apple cake strewn with nuts and raisins, had to be baked each day and left out every night. Workers say that it wasn't unusual for Hitler to eat 2 pounds of chocolate per day, and Mr. Puzzi, then his piano player, reported seeing him pile sugar into a glass of expensive red wine at a society dinner. He was also said to have 7 sugars in his tea, and despite his sugar intake, Hitler actually feared going to the dentist, and as a result had poor oral hygiene. Finishing off the list is a very interesting and mind-boggling fact. Standing in his wrecked home, Henry Tandy watched his city burn and heard the screams of hundreds of men, women and children after an attack by 515 German bombers. The brave air raid warden had spent the previous 10 hours fighting his way into blazing houses, rescuing victims and pulling out bodies as the Luftwaffe tried to destroy his village. But nothing Henry did that night could ease the sickening sense of guilt he had. Now let's take things back a few years. On September the 28th, 1918, Private Henry Tandy, a British soldier serving near the French village of Marcoing, reportedly encountered a wounded soldier and decided not to shoot him, sparing the life of 29-year-old Lance Corporal Adolf Hitler. I took aim but couldn't shoot a wounded man, Tandy remembered, so I let him go. The German soldier nodded in thanks and disappeared. It was years later that Henry realised he had missed the chance to kill Hitler, when in 1938 he received a shocking phone call from Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, who had just returned from a meeting with Hitler to try and talk him out of war. During the meeting, Chamberlain had been shown a reproduction of a famous painting called The Mine Crossroads, which featured Henry. Incredibly, Hitler recognised him as the man who spared him 4 years later. He told Chamberlain, "That man came so near to killing me I thought I would never see Germany again."